Have you ever wondered why no matter how much you earn, it somehow never feels like enough? Like you get paid, you feel good for about 2 days, and then suddenly your money is gone and you have absolutely no idea where it went. And the worst part is, you did not even buy anything crazy. A few groceries, maybe a lunch out, an online order you forgot you even placed until the package showed up, a subscription or two, and boom, your paycheck evaporated like it had somewhere better to be. Look, here is the thing. People love telling you that you cannot budget, that you are bad with money, that you just need more discipline. The internet acts like overspending is a personal failure, like you are just weak. But here's the part nobody talks about. The entire system you live in is designed to make you overspend. Not accidentally, not coincidentally, intentionally. Every app, every store layout, every subscription model, every payment method, every notification, every sale, every psychology trick used by companies with entire teams of behavioral scientists, all of it exists to quietly guide money out of your pocket and into theirs. And somehow you are supposed to believe you are the problem. Stay with me, because once you see how these systems work in your daily life, you will never look at your spending habits the same way again. And honestly, you will probably feel a little bit relieved, because you will finally understand it is not your fault. It was never your fault. My name is Michael, and I help people understand money the way school never did. I break down the systems behind your spending so you can finally keep more of what you earn instead of wondering where it disappeared. All right, let's get into the truth nobody tells you. Point 1. Modern life is engineered for frictionless spending. Companies figured something out years ago. The more steps you remove between wanting something and paying for it, the more people will spend. It sounds simple, but it is one of the most profitable discoveries in modern history. And that is exactly why everything is one click now, one tap, one scan. No friction, no pause. No moment to breathe and think, wait, do I actually want this? You do not really buy things anymore. Things simply materialize in your life. Think about it. You are on your couch at 9:30 at night, scrolling, half awake, half bored, doing that thing where you are not even paying attention to what you are doing. Your brain is on idle mode. You see something, a shirt, a gadget, a random kitchen tool shaped like a medieval weapon that you will use exactly once. It does not matter. You tap once and it is already on the way. And here is where it gets crazy. That tap does not feel like spending. It feels like nothing. Like you have just performed a tiny digital gesture that somehow has no real consequences. It feels like you did not spend money. It feels like you summoned it. It feels like you snapped your fingers and an object simply decided to come live with you. Emotionally, that purchase barely registers. Your brain does not get the pain signal. It does not trigger the internal accountant that used to wake up when you opened your wallet and saw actual cash leaving your hand. But financially, your bank account absolutely notices. Oh, it notices every single tap. Your account is the only honest one in the entire relationship. And here is the emotional consequence nobody prepares you for. You stop respecting your own money because you never really feel it leaving. When spending becomes invisible, your financial awareness becomes invisible too. If spending feels effortless, that is not a convenience feature. That is a trap. A beautifully designed, psychologically engineered trap built to make sure your wants become purchases before your brain gets a vote. Point 2. Payments are designed to hide pain. Stay with me, because this one explains a lot. Humans are wired to feel a tiny emotional sting when they hand over cash. It is one of the most primal financial safeguards we have. That physical exchange, that moment where your fingers release the bills and someone else takes them, creates a built-in mental checkpoint. Your brain jumps in and asks, are you absolutely sure you want to spend this? That pause used to protect people from impulse purchases long before the word impulse became a marketing strategy. Companies hated that. They hated anything that made you stop, think, hesitate, or reconsider, so they removed it. First came swiping, which softened the emotional sting. Then tapping, which removed it almost entirely. Then autopay, which did the financial equivalent of chloroforming your awareness. You do not hand anything over. You do not see anything leave. You do not acknowledge that you are buying something. Half the time, you do not even approve anything. The money just slips away quietly at 2 in the morning when your subscription renews, like a financial ghost you forgot you invited into your home. Real life example. Remember when you used to pay cash for food and you cared what things cost? You handed over $20, got some change back, and immediately felt the difference in your wallet. You noticed the loss. There was a physical reminder of the exchange. Now people tap a card 15 times in a weekend without a single moment of conscious thought. No sting, no pause. Just convenience packaged as normal life. And here is the emotional consequence. You spend more because nothing interrupts you in the moment. Nothing pulls you out of autopilot. Nothing signals to your brain that a decision is being made. You are drifting through a system that was built to keep you unconscious. You are not overspending because you are irresponsible. You are overspending because you are human. And the system you live in has been optimized to bypass the parts of your brain that used to protect you. Point 3. Subscriptions quietly drain you. Most people think subscriptions are cheap because they are only $10 or $12 or $20 a month. But here is where it gets crazy. Companies price everything monthly because they know people will say yes to a small recurring charge way faster than a large upfront cost. A $12 subscription feels harmless until you have 12 of them. Then that tiny number becomes hundreds every month without you noticing. Real-life example. You sign up for one streaming service because you want to watch a single show. Then you keep it because canceling feels annoying. And then you have another one for live sports. Another one for documentaries. Another one for movies. Then you have the gym membership you never use, the cloud storage you forgot you had, the random learning app you signed up for during a burst of motivation last winter. Emotional consequence. Your money goes to things that do not improve your life at all, and you do not feel it until the end of the month when your account looks like it has been robbed. Point 4. Everything is priced to feel smaller than it is. This is the part nobody talks about. Prices are not random. They are psychological. You know this one. Items priced at $9.99 instead of $10. But the tricks are way deeper than that now. Restaurants remove dollar signs because numbers without symbols feel less expensive. Menus list things in descending order because your brain anchors to the highest price first, making everything else look reasonable. Online stores show slashed original prices that were never real to begin with. Real-life example. You walk into a store and see a jacket marked down from $180 to $90. You feel like you saved $90. Emotionally, that feels like a win. In reality, the jacket probably cost $15 to make and was never intended to sell for $180. Emotional consequence. You think you are making smart financial moves when you are actually reacting to well-engineered illusions. Point 5. Lifestyle creep is rooted in comparison, not logic. Look, this one hits everyone. Nobody is immune to it. Modern life gives you front row seats to the highlight reels of thousands of people, and your brain was never designed for that level of comparison. You see their houses, their furniture, their vacations, their cars, their outfits, their kitchens that somehow look like they were curated by a Scandinavian interior designer, even though these people have full-time jobs and toddlers. And slowly, quietly, without you even noticing, your sense of what is normal shifts. The restaurant that used to feel fancy now feels standard because everyone online seems to be eating there casually on a Tuesday. The clothing brand that used to feel expensive now feels like the baseline because your feed is full of people calling it their everyday essentials. The vacation that used to feel like a once-in-a-lifetime trip now feels like something you should somehow be doing every single year because every influencer on your screen keeps flying to the same tropical island like it is their local park. Real-life example. You get a raise. A normal human reaction should be relief or excitement. But instead of feeling richer, your brain instantly updates its internal software and installs a brand new minimum lifestyle requirement. Suddenly, the things that used to be luxuries now feel mandatory. The nicer apartment, of course. The better car, obviously. The upgraded wardrobe? You tell yourself it is time. And this shift does not feel like indulgence. It feels like catching up. Because you have been comparing your real, messy, everyday life to everyone else's curated, filtered, strategically lit version online. And here is the emotional consequence. You never feel ahead. No matter how much your income increases, your expectations increase faster. You raise your lifestyle every time you should be raising your savings. You upgrade before you stabilize. You elevate before you can actually afford elevation. And then you wonder why you still feel behind even when you earn more than you ever have. Point 6. Convenience is sold as a benefit, but it is actually a business model. Modern life pressures you into paying extra for convenience you often do not need. Grocery delivery, same-day shipping, meal kits, pre-chopped vegetables, subscription, laundry detergent. All of it is framed as saving you time. And sometimes it does. But most of the time, you are paying double the price to avoid tasks that take 5 minutes. Real-life example. A delivery app charges service fees, delivery fees, tip prompts, and hidden markups so you can avoid driving 10 minutes to pick up your food. That $20 meal becomes $40. Multiply that by a few times a month and suddenly you are wondering where all your money went. Emotional consequence. You trade financial stability for micro-conveniences without realizing it. Convenience is not the enemy, but convenience without awareness absolutely is. Point 7. Social pressure fuels spending more than logic ever will. This is where things get interesting. You probably think you make independent financial decisions, but human psychology says otherwise. We spend based on what we think others expect from us. If your friends go out to an expensive dinner, you feel pressure to say yes. If someone at work has a new phone, you start thinking yours is outdated. If your neighbor remodels their kitchen, you suddenly think your cabinets look old. Real-life example. You agree to a night out even though you are not excited about it. You buy drinks you did not want. You buy food you were not craving. And suddenly, you spent $100 for the privilege of sitting in a loud room when you could have eaten at home. Emotional consequence. You spend money to avoid feeling socially out of place instead of spending based on your actual wants or needs. Point 8. The world encourages you to feel like you deserve everything. Stay with me. This is not an attack. Modern marketing uses the language of self-care, empowerment, and emotional well-being to get you to justify purchases. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Do something nice for yourself. You only live once. Sounds harmless, but companies use these phrases intentionally because they know people will spend more when they feel emotionally justified. Real-life example. You have a stressful week at work, and instead of resting, you end up spending money to compensate for your emotional exhaustion. A spa day, a shopping trip, a night out, a delivery order. The spending is not solving your stress, it is soothing it, temporarily. Emotional consequence. You confuse emotional relief with financial decision-making. Point 9. Sales, deals, and limited time offers are engineered pressure. Nobody wants to miss a deal. Companies know that humans hate losing more than they enjoy gaining, so they create fake urgency, flash sales, limited quantities, countdown timers. Only 3 left. Sale ends in 4 hours. Half of these are automated. They reset daily. They exist purely to trigger fear of missing out. Real-life example. You buy something because it is 30% off today only, even though you did not even want it yesterday. Emotional consequence. You think you are saving money, but you are actually buying things you would not have purchased at full price. A deal is not a deal if you did not need the thing. Point 10. Modern life bombards you with micro-temptations. You used to only see ads when you watch television. Now you see ads while you walk, while you drive, while you shop, while you scroll, while you sleep, and apparently even while you think. Every platform is gathering data on you to show you the exact products you are most likely to buy. Real-life example. You talk about wanting a new backpack, and suddenly your phone becomes a backpack showroom. Coincidence? No. Emotional consequence. You see the same item so many times that your brain starts to think you need it. Repetition creates desire. Point 11. Your environment is built to guide your spending. Grocery stores put essentials in the back so you walk through the most tempting aisles first. Furniture stores create rooms that make you feel like your home is outdated. Gas stations put candy at eye level. Gyms upsell you training packages the second you walk in. Real-life example. You walk into a home goods store for one thing, and you leave with 5 things you did not know existed 30 minutes earlier. Emotional consequence. You assume you lack discipline when really your environment is engineered to override it. Willpower cannot beat design. Point 12. The default settings are always designed to cost you more. Want a truth bomb? Companies know most people never change default settings, so they design them to maximize profit. Auto-renew turned on. Highest price plan selected. Add-ons pre-checked. Privacy settings buried. Real-life example. You sign up for a free trial, you forget to cancel, you get charged for a year. Not because you chose it, because you were expected not to notice. Emotional consequence. Your money leaks away through decisions you never consciously made. Defaults are not neutral, they are strategy. So where does all of this leave you? It leaves you with a simple, grounding truth. You are not failing with money. You are functioning exactly as a human being functions inside a system designed to extract as much money from you as possible with the least amount of resistance. Every tap, every subscription, every limited time banner has been built to bypass your rational brain and hit the emotional one. You are not overspending because you are weak. You are overspending because you live in a world where everything is engineered to make you spend without thinking, where saving requires effort, but spending requires nothing but a thumb. But here is the shift. Once you see the system, you stop moving through it blindly. You can actually step outside of the automatic, reflexive way most people live and start putting intentional speed bumps back into your financial life. That might look like deleting your saved cards so every online checkout requires an extra step. It might look like turning off one-click purchasing. It might look like putting a 48-hour pause on non-essential purchases just to see if you actually still want them when the impulse wears off. You can slow down in a world that is constantly trying to speed you up. You can also put structure back into things that companies intentionally try to make chaotic. You can schedule 1 day per month to review subscriptions instead of hoping you remember them. You can keep a simple note on your phone where you track upcoming renewals. You can unsubscribe from marketing emails whose only job is to trigger urges you did not ask for. You can cook at home more often, not because cooking is morally superior, but because it puts your money back in your control. You can buy only what you actually need instead of what the algorithm wants you to believe you need. Most importantly, you can pause before tapping your card and ask the question almost nobody asks anymore. Does this purchase support the life I actually want or the life someone else is trying to sell me? When you start choosing intentionally instead of automatically, everything changes. Not overnight, but gradually, quietly, in ways that build real stability. Modern life is built for overspending. That is the truth, but your financial future does not have to be. You do not need to look rich. You need to stop being stressed. And the moment you stop playing the game on autopilot, you finally give yourself the chance to win it on purpose.